I'm sure you must have seen Power Query's user interface, and in that user interface, you must have worked with the grouping option in the Transform tab. Now that obviously is fantastic, gives you a couple of options of maneuvering and summarizing the data. But in this video, I'm going to take that grouping a little ahead and show you some advanced tricks. This is going to blow your socks off. Be ready. Let's start. All right, the first trick has to do with concatenation while grouping the data. It's going to be fun. Let's just start. So I have this data with just 3 steps. The source connects to an Excel file, change type obviously, and then inserted year, which is nothing but the date column right here has been transformed into the years as a separate column, nothing that complicated. Now I'd like to be able to summarize the data, meaning I want to have year as one condition of summarization, customer as second condition of summarization, and I would like to see that what is the total sales of the customer in the entire year. How do we do that? Obviously that is a grouping problem. Let's just set up the grouping and then I'll talk about the problem and what we are trying to do advanced here. So in the Transform tab, I obviously have group by. I can do that. In the group by, I have year and the customer. So year actually goes up on the top. Then we have customer, which is right here. And against that, I would like to add total sales as a column. The operation is going to be, let's say, sum of which column, sum of the sales column. As soon as I commit on this formula, this gives me a table like this, which is where we have one row for every single customer in every single year, and that's my total sales against that. Now, if you take a look at the previous step, in the previous step, we have the names of the salespeople, and I would like to concatenate all the salespeople that served a customer in one particular year. So if I were to just go to the next step, in 2007, for this particular customer, whatever salespeople served this particular customer, I want all of their names to be separated by commas. And that's the concatenation that I'm looking for. Now, this concatenation is not available in the UI of Power Query. Let's just see how can we do that. To be able to do that, you need to understand this table.group function Power Query has used by default. Let's just start to evaluate this function as to how this function works, and we'll make tweaks in the function to make that happen. All right, so I've copy pasted the function, and if you take a look at the arguments of the function, they're ridiculously simple. So the first argument of the function is, hey, which table are you trying to work with? So I'm trying to work with this particular table, which is nothing but the previous tab, and that is nothing but my inserted year. This is where I would want the grouping to start to happen. Then it says, what are the conditions for the grouping? The conditions are year and the customer. Since there are 2 conditions, I have put that in the list, which is right here. And then all the columns that I want to create, for example, I have created one particular column. All the columns that I want to create, they're going to be in the form of a nested list. So this is my first nested list. There is a list outside, and this is my first list. Now, if you take a look at this particular list, we are creating a total sales column. That's my name. And in the calculation here, I am summing the sales column off from the previous table. I'm also assigning a data type, which is nothing but a number. So 3 parts to the formula: name of the column, calculation of the column, and the data type of the column. So I need to be able to write something like this, which is where I'll say, hey, the new column is going to be, let's say, the sales reps. I want to do some concatenation function here, and the data type is going to be text. If I can do that, I would be able to modify the function. All right, let's just start to make the tweaks in the table.group function. I've formatted that a bit, and let's just start to add one more list that contains the same 3 parts. So I can just happen to duplicate this particular list, put in a comma obviously in between, because there are 2 lists now. And I'm going to say that the name of the column is going to be, let's say, customers, not customers, I keep saying customers, sales reps. So, and if I happen to now just press enter, I'm going to get the same value because the calculation is summing, not concatenation. So I'm going to say something like list.combine, and I'm going to say that which column do I want to combine? I want to combine the sales rep column. So I can just say sales and rep, and the separator is going to be, let's say, a comma and a space. And the type is not going to be a nullable number, but the type is going to be a text. Now, if I commit to this particular function, it should actually give me the sales rep, but right now it's giving me an error. Let's just find out what the error is for a quick second. So I have used list.combine, but the function that I should be using here is not list.combine. I should actually be using a text.combine function. So I'll replace that with text.combine. I'm not trying to combine a list. I'm just trying to combine multiple texts. If I do that, the error goes away, and you can see that we have all the names combined right here. Now, there is a possibility that the sales people are duplicated. So if you just take a look at this particular list, Anshika here is duplicated and I would like to have a unique list. So before I combine this particular list, I might as well want to find the uniques from that. So I can just go here and say something like list.distinct and wrap the sales rep column around that, close the bracket and press enter. And this is going to give me the unique names of the columns that I can play around with. Now this is my unique list combined, and that is nothing but concatenation, which was earlier not possible through the UI of Power Query. This is awesome. All right, trick number 2, adding totals to your tables using grouping. This is very interesting. Now, for this particular trick, you don't need the grouping. Obviously, you need the grouping for creating the totals, but there is no need of creating the grouping first and then creating the total. Well, you'll understand if you take a look at the example. So I have the source step again, change type inserted here, which was there also in the previous query right here. And I've done some grouping. Now this particular grouping step is not needed. I'm just using it to make the data shorter. That's about it. So I have got 4 columns here. I have the year, the customer, the total sales of that customer in that year, and the total profit of that customer in that particular year. At the bottom of this particular table, I would like to here add a totals row as to how much total sales is that and how much total profit is that. That is what I would like to add. Now, adding a totals row in Power Query is obviously not a good idea. You can obviously do that in pivot tables, DAX, Power Pivot or Power BI, whatever tool that you're using, but it's not a good idea to add totals row in Power Query. But if for any weird reason you want to have that totals row, this would not be a bad option to play with. All right, so what do we do? So at the moment, I am going to create a new step, and I'll again play around with grouping. So I'm just going to maybe click on the FX, and I will start to write my table.group function once again. So I'll say table.group. The first part is which table are you trying to work with? So I'm trying to work with this particular table, the previous step. And then it says, hey, what are your keys? How would you like to group the data? If you notice in the previous step, we did group the data by the year and the customer. This time, I do not want to do year or customer. In fact, I want nothing. All that I would want is the total of this entire column and the total of this entire column. I do not want to group by the customer. I do not want to group by the year. How do I write such a thing? So I'm going to say that I want to not have any grouping condition. I want to take a look at the entire data. If you write an empty list, that means take a look at the entire data. And then it says, hey, how many columns would you like to add? So I would like to add 2 columns, one for sales, the other one for profit. Therefore, I have created the first nested list. If you now take a look, the first column is called sales, and I should use the same column, but just total all of these rows. So I'm just going to maybe create the first column as sales. That goes in as text. The condition to create the total is nothing but each list.sum. And I am going to sum the sales column of the previous table, and that is nothing but my first condition. So there is a bracket missing in the end. As soon as I press enter, this actually creates a table, and the value here is nothing but the sum of all of these values in of the previous table. Nice. We want another sum for profit. Let's just create one more column. So I can just perhaps copy all of this particular code, Control C, put in a comma, have a second list. The name of the second list is going to be not sales, but profit. And each list.sum is going to be working on the profit column instead. I am keeping the column names exactly as the same, and you will understand in just a bit why. So the sales column is exactly the same. The profit column name is exactly the same. All right, now the table has been created. There are 2 columns, sales and profit. And all that I can do now is to just combine the 2 tables. Which 2 tables? The table in this particular step and the table in this particular step. Let's just call this table as totals, and I can create another step, and I can say, hey, I want to have grouped rows first. So grouped rows, which is right here. And then I would like to have the totals in the end, and I can just get rid of that junk, group rows and totals. Click on enter, and now what we have at the bottom of the data is nothing but the totals. Now, because the column names were exactly the same, and therefore if you combine the 2 tables together using the AND concatenation symbol, the sales column comes underneath right here, and the profit columns comes right underneath here. That is awesome. Now at the moment, there is one thing which is missing, is that somehow I would like to add a total word right here, for which we need to create one more column called year and place the value, like place the text called total right here. How do we do that? I'm going to go back to the previous step. At the moment, we have 2 columns. I'm going to make the 3rd column. So I am going to paste the same code once again. The name of the column is going to be year, because that is where I want the total. each should not be the list dot sum. It should just be the word total. That's it. We just have a single row created. Now, if you take a look at here, we just have a text called total. If you still combine the two tables using custom one step right here, the first and the second, we have totals at the bottom, which is pretty damn amazing. Now, this is not the most sophisticated way to add totals, but it just works brilliantly. All right, moving on to trick number 3, using local grouping, which acts like consecutive grouping. That would not make any sense unless you take a look at the example. Let's just jump over to my Excel. So in my Excel right here, I've got 3 columns, which is an example: date, employee code, and the role. Now, if you take a look at the data, obviously is sorted by the employee and the month. So you have all the successive months, Jan, Feb, March, so on and so forth, for that particular employee. Now, if you take a look at the first 2 months, Jan and Feb, the person, which is this particular person, was a zone manager. Now, in the month of March, he changes his role and he becomes a branch manager. And the branch manager continues to happen for all of these months consecutively, one after the other. And it goes on, goes on, goes on, goes on. And then in September 2020, the role changes and he becomes team supervisor. And then he continues to be a team supervisor. Again, he becomes a branch manager. And then again, if you take a look, he again becomes a team supervisor. And this is where the data actually ends for that person. And you have a new employee starting right here. Now, all that I would want to do is I want to find out that what is the duration of the stint. Now, if you take a look, first of all, how many stints are there? There are 5 stints for that person. This is stint number 1. This is stint number 2, the branch manager, all of this while. This is, which is right here. And then this is team supervisor, or this is the 3rd stint. And if you just take a look, this is the 4th stint, which is branch manager. And if you go up right here, this is my 5th stint, which is zone manager. Although the roles have been duplicated, but if you take a look at the stint is nothing but an unbroken period of time when you're deployed at a particular role. So all that I would want is the grouping to take a look at the very next row. So you should be taking a look at the very next row and see if the role has changed or not for that particular employee. If the role has changed, that becomes a new grouping bucket. If the role is not changed, it becomes in the same bucket. How do we do such kind of grouping? Let's just take a look at in Power Query. All right, I have loaded the data in Power Query from Excel. Let's just start to apply grouping first. We'll apply a casual, like the regular grouping first, and then I'll talk about that what additional can we do. So I'm gonna maybe go ahead and pick up the employee and the role, and I'll say transform, and I'll say group by, and I'm gonna say that, hey, I would like to group by these 2 columns, and I will just want to keep all rows right here. And in the operation, I'll say all rows, click on OK, and that is nothing but my table. All right, the data has been grouped. And if you take a look at the output is a bit weird than what we would expect. Because at the moment, if you take a look, we just have got 3 rows for the entire grouping of the data. And we can see that the person has held 3 unique roles. He has held the zone manager, the branch manager, and the team supervisor. But we saw in the data that the branch manager was held at 2 different unique stints. It's not the same stint. And all the dates are now combined in of a single table. That is not what we want. However, we would want to keep looking at one row and the next row and the next row and keep comparing, has the stint shifted or moved or not. So what we can do is we can make a simple change in the M code. So table.group, everything is just okay. What we're going to say that towards in the end of the grouping, there happens to be a group kind operator, which is where, how would you like to group the data? Would you like to take a look at the entire data? Or would you like to take a look at row by row and keep seeing the next row, has the next row changed as per grouping or not? Now, I'm going to maybe go ahead and start to write like an input here, which is the group kind input. So I'll say group kind, by default it's global. I can say local. Local simply means keep looking at the current row and the next row, the current row and the next row, and take a look that when the grouping has changed. Now, as soon as I commit on this, I get the same output. But the difference this time is that now, if you take a look at the employee 105782, we've got 5 roles for that, and you can see that there are 2 instances when this person was actually a branch manager. So here is all the first instance of the months when he was a branch manager. Here is all the instance of the second when he was actually a branch manager. Now, obviously, I don't want to have the table. I just want to count the number of rows in the table. 1 row means 1 month, and I can just say, hey, this each underscore gives me this particular table, which is nice. I just want to count the number of rows in that table. All that I can do is something like table.row count, and I can just start the bracket and close the bracket in the end. And this is nothing but the number of months where the person actually held that particular stint. And that is pretty damn awesome. All right, that's been it. 3 advanced tricks on grouping. Let me know which one did you like the most and which one are you using in your next project in the comments below. All right, before you go, I'd like to give a big shout out about my M course on Power Query. These are the very kind of problems that we discuss in the course. I start with the fundamentals, try to explain you the logic first, and then give you multiple exercises so that you can expand your problem solving ability to even solve harder problems by yourself. Hundreds of students have joined my courses and praised the course a lot. If you're interested, I'll be more than happy to welcome you in the course. Thanks so much for watching this, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye now.